up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue got her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
Hey guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. From past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts, such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. If you would like to help me with my legal expenses, or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. And we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son.
Well, hello, my beautiful people. Good morning, TGIF. We are rolling out this morning a little early, and it's because, well, it's Friday. We got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of stuff to jam-pack in the last day of the week, so we're here early, making sure your butts are out of bed and heading off to work. I know, it's a little crazy. All right, it's nice to see everybody. I see everybody in chat. Our beautiful Justin for All from Clutch Them Pearls is up in the chat this morning. It's nice to see everyone. You guys are great. And I just moved my doohickey. Hold on, I got to get... don't doohickey me out. There we go. We need to make sure we have what we need up in the house, such as this. We got to have effects. We can't run a show without effects. Whenever I'm not in here, I have buttons. When I'm in here, I have things like this. All right, guys, it's nice to see you. So, as we are campaigning to bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home and to bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home safely, you know, we're keeping our eyes on a lot of different things when it comes to this case. And so there was a post on Reddit that came out, and I'm just, you know, rolling my eyes because I've already seen War Damn Eagle. I already seen 5D. God bless them. The clip channels that we have that are doing good clips about the nonsense going on out here on the streets of YouTube and other social media, but predominantly YouTube. And so I saw this stuff where the unscrupulous UTI, UPI, whatever the heck you want to call them, just please tell them to stay home for dinner, okay? Oh, thank you, Melanie. Gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Melanie thank you. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your room. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. And so I don't pay attention to Reddit, and I certainly do not pay attention to the monstrosity of the Sebastian Rogers Reddit link that's, you know, ran by a bunch of bozos the clown, right? And I'm just going to say it like that. I don't mind being disrespectful. I don't really care what they have to say about me, but they're trash. They're trash, and they ruined that Reddit stream. They ruined the Reddit channel over there. It's all geared to hate Seth. Anybody that speaks out, they're banned, blocked, everything. It's no different than that stupid group. So I guess we can entertain or deduct who's probably running this monstrosity of a Reddit sub chat, whatever the hell they call it. I'm not a Reddit. I got a Reddit account. I'm not a Reddit. So I don't really pay attention to it. I pay attention to a lot of other cases on Reddit, but not the Sebastian Rogers case because they're vile and I just don't like them. I don't like none of them. Get better mods. Get better mods. Kick the shit out of true crime. And I'm going to say it just like that. Kick it out of true crime. We're tired of it. And I'm glad we're finally making headway and really making sure the divide is clear of what's drama and what is true crime. Now, this a UTI, the UTI of this case has been bought and paid for by, you guessed it, the mom and her husband or their family or whoever ponied up to this Yahoo some money, which is the worst mistake they can make. And just, once they get the stink of this man on them, they ain't getting it off. There is no soap and water that's going to do it. Don works wonders on grease, but he's worse than grease. Okay. Um, so anyways, I see some things coming out, and I dismissed them as thinking that they were old because we haven't seen this guy rear his ugly head in a while since he had some, words exchanged with the mom and the stepfather or whatnot, what have you. And so he went on another case. He obviously claimed finding that person, and we all know better. Somebody else found him, and he took the credit for it. That's his MO. So now I see him on another Roach Channel's, Gaping Lakes channel, and saying some things like, "Good gracious, what were they saying?" They were talking. So I thought it was old, but we got to know Gaping Lake. She's needy, right? And she's desperate, and she needs people to pay attention to her, and she needs to have an entire panel now because she can't run her channel by herself without the drama and getting paid for the hate pay. So, she brings probably the most hated PI known in the country right now up on her show that hasn't even said boo about the case. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, something's being revealed that I don't know is supposed to be revealed. And I don't know if it's true. And it makes me wonder, is it just more bullshit to cause confusion on these streets about the case? Excuse my language. I know I should be using a beep beep button. But I can't help it. That's what it is. It's a whole bunch of...
That was bullshit.
I'm sorry. I can't lie. I have the choice. Sonia, can I ask you a question? This is a true question. You might have to pray on this and get back to me. But what would you prefer? Would you prefer me lying or me cussing? Because I don't like lying, but I don't mind cussing. You see the difference? And I'm just saying it's a little bit,
Bullshit detected. Take precaution.
I'm trying. You know what? I'm trying. It's just getting deep, and all I got is snake boots, not shit boots. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do that again? Oh. Working for my money today. Working for my money. But I digress. So the Reddit stream is like, SF says there's 24-hour cameras on CP and KP's garage. So there's no way if a vehicle came or left the house without being captured on video. Timestamp 17:4. I'm like, Now, I've covered this case, okay? I'm just saying, I've covered this case. I'm pretty intimate with all the details of this case, and I'm just pretty certain, I don't know, but I'm pretty certain that we've heard there's no cameras on the house. So what gives here? Hey, Rennie Ren, it's nice to see you, my love. Medic biker up in the house? Some people. It's nice to see y'all. Some people. So I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way. Right? We know that there's a camera on the garage, but it's from across the street. It's from across the street, right? So I'm like, okay, this is old, right? It's old. And so they put a YouTube channel because they gotta, tatter around their disgusting hate channels and trash channels from this Sebastian Rogers Reddit streamed, whatever the hell they want to call it. And I gotta tell you, it goes to Gaping Lake. And I'm like, so this SOB, oh, did I move? Hold on. Good gracious. Such a, hold on. I'm gonna have to take this down for just a second. Let's see if we got it back. Okay, we got it back. Sorry, my equipment's so fit. I don't like those C USB things. They don't ever stick in. They just don't have nothing to grab onto, and they slip out. You move just ever right, they wiggle out. I don't like them. I don't like them. I think they need to go back to the old stuff. The old stuff worked just fine. Just fine. So anyways, I go over to Gaping Lake and I'm like, so I'm listening. Well, the information about the cameras isn't at 1704, but I do understand why this poster put 1704 on there while they're bragging for the biggest piece of trash on these streets, Gaping Lake. Well, one of many. I guess she's not the biggest. I mean, we do have bigger pieces of trash than her. But I digress, right? And so I go over there and I'm listening to it. And of course, this guy, he's just, oh my gosh, I got to tell you some things. One thing he did admit is that he also is looking at his own clients, which, you know, no shit. We didn't see that one coming. I can't wait until he starts doing the flipperoo like he does with every other one of his clients, right? So we're already starting to make headway with that Yahoo. And so he starts now bragging about how nothing to see over here. Nothing to see over here, right? There's no way they did it. They got cameras running 24/7. Huh? They got cameras running 24/7. What are you talking about? These are conversations I have with myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just like that. I can do that. I'm missing some people. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, dear goodness. Miss Robin, thank you so much. Gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Michelle, good gracious. Thank you. I did miss it. I will be honest with you. I went right up through all my little, issue I was having this morning with some tech stuff, which we expect to have even more tech stuff. I'm about to get into some videos, and we know StreamYard doesn't like working well with Betty. So there is that. So long story short, thank you guys. If you guys received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Robin and Michelle thank you. And for you who received the recipient of this wonderful exclusive gift, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. I.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room. Welcome aboard. Aw, Ren, smash that like button. Oh, I forgot to load it. How did I forget? Oh my gosh. I cannot believe it. Totally, this whole thing with the lights or the cameras, totally OMG. I cannot believe oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this. Ooh, I got something for you. OMG, this is exclusive. You guys gonna have to deal with me because it's gonna have to load into the phone or into the computer. Give me a second. It's trying. There it goes. I can't believe I forgot this. I might have to delete. Let me go to my media tab. Oh, you know what? Not gonna let me do my media tab. I'll have to do the MOV converter to MP4. You guys are just gonna have to wait here. I'm in love. I'm in love with this. And before we get started on this cow pie, I definitely want to brighten your day. I want to brighten your day. I made a music video. How did I forget? And it's featuring Gaping Lake and Fat Lips and any other disgusting person. How did I forget this? Good gracious. Betty, what is wrong with you today? I don't know. I'm seeping. Apparently I'm asleep at the wheel, y'all. All right, let me get this thing loaded up in here. Let's hope I don't have to fight with this thing to get it loaded. How did it fail? Oh, no, it didn't fail. Okay, let's get you out of here. There it is. It's loading. You guys are gonna like this. It's gonna be I pulled a Mrs. E. You guys are going to see in just a second. But not quite. She's so sweet, right? Mr. and Mrs. E are just too sweet. Their whole family is. They're just a well-rounded family. We love them. We are definitely a Mr. E, the E crime cast. We're gonna call it the E's, not Mr. E, because we know it's Auntie E, it's Miss E, it's Mr. E. It's the E's crime cast. But here you go. Without further ado, I probably should have put a goal on this, but I'm not. This is my love to you. This is my Friday love. This is the Friday love party here, right? The Friday love party. Kind of, sort of. You're going to hear how it's an oxymoron in just a second, because it ain't nothing to do with love.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here to set it right. Jump and duck, let's take a shot, turning trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick, whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
Okay, that's going to be a crowded cheer. There we go. Thank you. I figured we needed something. Right? I was thinking about getting a troll costume for Halloween. You know, maybe the next one, maybe Betty will be in there. Or maybe I'll be the one with the mallet. Maybe we'll blow up a blow up doll. It sounds a little weird, right? And put like Gaping Lake's face on it, and I'll be there with the wooden mallet. Wouldn't that? Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know. I think I want to see it again. Let's just play it one more time. Then we'll talk about the trash of no, you need a machete. Let's do it again.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here to set it right. Jump and duck, let's take a shot, turning trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick, whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
Whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick. Okay, there's your marching orders to my mods. Okay, to my mods. It's nice to see you all. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay, guys. So we're getting back to this whole thing. I'm like, pump the brakes, right? We got 24-hour cameras on the house of Chris and Katie. That can't be right? So I'm like, okay, let's listen to this. Let's get context. Certainly, this is old news. This is recycled, whatever, selective, story time telling, whatever it may be, right? And so I go there to Gaping Lake, and you know how I feel about giving anybody, and I mean anybody, a plug or even remotely the view. I don't even want I gotta bathe after we get this live done. Okay, like I gotta bathe. So this is kind of the post that I saw on Reddit. Right, it comes into your email and it says, SF UTI says that there's that's a long time. Right. It says here 24-hour cameras on CP and KP's garage, so there's no way a vehicle came or left that house without being captured. That's probably why there was a car seen around the corner. I mean, I'm just saying, it just doesn't seem like it's rocket science, you know? I'm sorry. It just doesn't seem like it's rocket science over here. Yeah, nobody parked in their freaking driveway. We knew that from like day 3. From day 3. Oh, look what we got here. What do we have? Oh, I'm missing everybody. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Robin. Miss Robin knows I need it. Pray for poor Betty. Pray for poor Betty. I know this 5-gallon bucket. I got to show you guys. I know you guys saw it, but it wasn't good. I got to take the camera off and show you guys. SPED teacher, God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So much. Good morning, beautiful coffee clubs. Amazing mod, BHB. Thank you for all you do. It's my spring break. All right. You get a big bullhorn. Toot. Welcome to spring break. Let's not get you on our daily breaking news of being the crazy lady out there saying, woo! No, I'm just joking. Live free. You know me. Just saying. So it's me, Jen. Thank you so much. That was a big ass time. Snacks. I want to smack her. Where's my smack? I got one. There it is. There you go, Jen. I got my smack back. I even got a whip. SPED teacher gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell SPED teacher, thank you for your Bullhorn Betty membership. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. Sit down, hold on, keep all hands and arms in the tram when it's moving at all times. So I go over to this Yahoo's, whatever it is, trash. And I'm like, okay, let's see what they have to say. Let's see. If I move it over. There's 704. Or I'll put it at 1700. I'm like, okay, so let's listen to what it says. Let's put it in context, right? Let's not just take the clip. Let's put it in context so everybody can hear it. So we can have this thing called an intelligent conversation about the factual information that we hear for ourselves so people can hear it. That's all we need. All right, here we go. I'll put my face up here. Actually, I don't want to start there. Let's just start. No, we need to start there.
I would protect my kid at all costs, even if it meant going to prison to do so.
That's the problem with this. Protecting your children is one thing. Allowing them to be heathens and protecting them from their consequences is a completely different thing. I want to make sure that that is clear and correct. Protecting your kid is protecting them from harm, not from responsibility and accountability of their own behavior.
So I've always thought maybe she had him protected by hiding him, or maybe something happened and he acted out that night and somehow she was protecting herself and she.
Oh, sounds like some of the conversations we have, but I guess they're the only ones allowed to have them and not be grifters or whatever they call us over here. Wheezy Girl gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Thank you for gifting that Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received a Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Wheezy Girl thank you. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Now you may proceed to grab your straitjacket and padded room. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, she hurt him on accident. I never have thought that Katie hurt Sebastian intentionally either.
So even some of that, I have never thought that she would hurt him intentionally. So everybody is under the impression that Katie has hurt her son. Even these hate channels. I just want to make sure everybody's hyper aware of that. Even these disgusting, rotten pieces of garbage, dung, actually are sitting up here talking as if they know Katie has done something to this child, hurt him.
I think it's an accident or it's her protection.
And
now here's the UTI. Now you guys know how much I cannot stand. And it's not just him. It's all internet PIs and it's not just internet PIs, because There are internet PIs that take their job seriously and know what confidentiality and being private is all about. These are all those people that want to be in the spotlight and then call themselves a PI, willfully and fragrantly violating their clients' rights by posting stuff that doesn't belong to them as if it belongs to them. It is their clients' work. It's their client's footage. It is up to their client to post it, not for them to hog the spotlight, not just hog the spotlight, but litter it with confidential information that belongs to their client. I am a law and order person. I like following the rules. I like following the law. And when you have a private investigator's license, you are required to do certain things. And this Yahoo doesn't seem to understand that. And so these desperate women that have no content have to bring this despicable person that does nothing but state lies and cause confusion in a case that's already littered with lies and confusion. So let's find out, and then we're going to take it to the polls. Do you guys believe this guy is truthful, or do you think he is yet again causing confusion in an already confused case? Let's find out. I don't know. What's the will of the people?
And listen, those are valid things, and I promise you that I've looked into all those, and I continue to look into all those, because I'm not saying that I couldn't have missed something. You know, I have worked.
Oh, you intentionally miss a lot. I am confident. If I'm not confident on one specific thing, 100%, this Yahoo intentionally, 100% intentionally doesn't know anything. Not that he doesn't know anything. He intentionally doesn't know anything.
From every angle possible, every scenario, listen, I have a lot of camera footage. I know where all the cameras are. I know a lot of stuff that isn't public yet. I just don't see any way
for that happened.
That she can get him out of the house with her. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see how he.
I can't see any way that they can get him out of the house. Like, this is the dumbest thing. Really? You can't find any way that they could have gotten this child out of the house with all those doors around the house. You can't figure out one way that she could have gotten her child out of the house. Well, that's funny, because I can tell you a fifth grader can think of 5 ways they could have gotten that child out of the house without using the blessed front door. Just saying. Okay? Again, fail. I think that's not the one I wanted.
What?
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Get out. Go at the front door.
I'm sorry. I can't. I need. You know what? I think you got me the wrong kind of boots. Okay, you got me snake boots, and you would think you would repel these snakes, but really, what you needed to get me is the BS boots. We got the wrong model. We got the wrong model of boot. Okay. Maybe we needed I don't know, one of those boots that I can just take like the skin off of them, and then it goes from snake boot to BS boot. You know, maybe. I don't know. I think we got the wrong kind of boot for me, because I'm swimming in a whole bunch of stuff I didn't think I was going to be swimming in, and it's worse than snakes because it stinks to high heaven. I'd rather get bitten.
But it's a whole different thing. Like, you can't go running through the neighborhoods with kid draped over your shoulder. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? You would have to do
Oh, so desperation. So we've never had a case like that. Kids just are people in and of themselves. So we don't see anybody ever in any of our cases that just drape a person over their head, like rolled up in a rug, rolled up in what was that girl out in Pasco, she was rolled up in a bed mattress cover. So nobody does that. Doesn't make sense, huh? Like, you can't make this stuff up. Doesn't make sense. So there's no way that they could have gotten him out. And the idea that somebody is trampling across their yards with flashlights with something draped over their shoulders doesn't make sense. Well, no shit, Shirley. Of course it doesn't make sense, because normal people don't have missing kids. But when you have missing kids, what do you do with them? I digress. Don't get my blood. I'm going to sip on my coffee.
a vehicle, and listen, no vehicle left that night. There's 24-hour.
Well, we're getting to the 24-hour cameras. The idea that no vehicle left that night. How can he sit up here with a straight face and say no vehicle left that night? We have two vehicles, an Uber driver and somebody that he said was a what was it? A boyfriend, girlfriend. That was the first one. Then it was somebody that was supposed to be in the neighborhood walking, like who? And it's like somebody with the construction. Then we had the trash truck. Then we had a dump truck. Then we had somebody walking their dog. And I guess now we've settled on delivery boy. Is there a cabana boy for door number 3? Cabana boy out there. Do we have a cabana boy at 3 a.m. in the side yard of the Proudfoot's home? Does this guy not find it awfully funny that a child missed 3 hours as lights were seen from the side of their home, making their way to and through a common area to a specific car that was parked in the weirdest spot ever, which appeared to try to avoid all cameras possible? Just so happens those lights go to it, load something in that car, one light scurries back to the house, and 3 hours later, we have a missing boy from that very house that those lights were going from. But there's nothing to see over here. And by the way, even though there was an Uber car and another car, a 3 a.m. car that has been analyzed by the mob crew, nobody was seen going and coming from that area at that time of night, don't you know? What? And he tries to say it with a straight face. I ain't never heard anything such.
Or camera that's right on their garage.
Let's listen to that.
Like, you can't go running through the neighborhoods with somebody, kid draped over your shoulder. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? You would have to use a vehicle, and listen, no vehicle left that night. There's 24-hour camera.
I can promise you a vehicle left that night. We saw it. We have a picture of it. We played it here for the last year. There is a car in that area where 2 lights are going through it. When you blow up, hindsight's in the chat. When you blow up the little spot, you see something large being carried. Has this Yahoo even attempted to try to send this footage over? I mean, he made a lot of money off this case, allegedly, which I doubt that as well. But allegedly, he's made a boatload of money off this case. Why hasn't he reached out to some of his, guys, the people in the biz to help, look at the images, to help enhance the images? I mean, why isn't he trying, at least attempting to try to find this boy or what happened to this boy, instead of being the disgusting mouthpiece for 2 individual disgusting people that have allowed such horrible things and atrocities to happen to their son that they want the world to believe that they care about and love, but haven't lifted a finger to help find? And now we're hearing that there's no cars going. I guess we're not supposed to believe our own eyeballs. I guess that's what we're not supposed to believe. And none of these idiots are challenging him. None of them. They know all the information. Gaping Lake's a smart person. She's a disgusting person, but she's got a brain cell or 2.
Or that's right on their garage.
Let's
so
go back.
With her, you know what I mean? I mean, I can see how he can, go out the front door, but it's a whole different thing. Like, you can't go running through the neighborhoods with somebody, kid draped over your shoulder. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? You would have to use a vehicle, and listen, no vehicle left that night. There's 24-hour camera that's right on their garage. So it's
24-hour camera right on their garage. Is that truthful, or is that a lie? Because we have a little bit of issues, just some problematic issues with that statement. Because for a solid year, his clients absolutely are adamant that that's not the case. Absolutely adamant. So who's being truthful here? And why are there so many blessed lies from these 2 people, or the people that they are hiring and associating with? What is the need for all of this deception? Hold on just a second. Okay. Let's listen.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Well, then from where?
Not directly from our house. Huh.
That's what we were hoping, that neighborhood ring cameras and may have picked something up.
Gotcha. I want to go back to that night. You said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
Let's go back. Let's go back and listen.
Not directly from our house.
Let's go back. Let's listen.
Home surveillance. Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Well, that certainly seems a little problematic, don't you think? Huh. I must have misheard something. Let's see if we misheard something. We must have misheard something. We had to have misheard something. Right? Huh? I don't know. Let's listen. Let's listen.
Where all the cameras are. I know a lot of stuff that isn't public yet. I just don't see any way
for that to have happened.
That she can get him out of the house with her. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see how he can get out, go out the front door, but it's a whole different thing.
He how did I miss that? Oh, so he can see how the kid can go out, but can't figure out how anybody else is getting out. Did he just say that? How did I miss that? How did I miss that? Oh my gosh. He did say that. Let's listen to that again.
Don't see any way
for that to have happened.
That she can get him out of the house with her. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see how he can get out, go.
Oh, I can see how he can get out, but not her. Okay. We got a smart one over here. We got a real smart one over here. Oh, good gracious. Yeah, he said that. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Let me get back to the point I was trying to make. Let's listen to that again. So they're saying not directly from their house. They have no surveillance. They have no surveillance. That's what she told Nancy Grace. They have no surveillance. But now all of a sudden, this unscrupulous UTI apparently knows more than the mom and the stepdad. What? I'm so confused.
Front door, but it's a whole different thing. Like, you can't go running through the neighborhoods with somebody, kid draped over your shoulder. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? You would have to use a vehicle, and listen, no vehicle left that night. There's 24-hour camera that's right on their garage. So
24-hour camera right on their garage, because the other 24-hour cameras around the corner that picked up people coming from their house to a car. And don't look at that. I mean, there's no way they could have gotten out of their house with anything or anyone, don't you know? Only Sebastian is the only one that could magically just disappear. Okay. Now you guys see how ridiculous this sounds. So let's go over to another spot that talks about cameras. This is not the exact type of camera conversation that we've had before. I mean, that we're kind of discussing. They're just discussing in general, but the inferences are that the Proudfoots had no cameras. And now over a year later, we have an unscrupulous PI caught lying over and 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 over again. So he's the only person that now knows that there was this mysterious camera on the front of their garage that they've denied for the last year. So let's listen to the inferences of this one.
Kim Holmes asked if there's any cameras in the area, and I did see, Kim, that they were asking for people that had any Ring doorbell footage or any businesses that had camera footage. Talk to us about that, Chris. We did speak about that briefly earlier about the people getting all the footage, but they haven't found anything.
Our entire neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods have voluntarily and with generosity given up any video footage that they've got. And, I mean, they have let the apartments come in and view and monitor. So as far as cameras, everybody has turned over everything. There's thousands of hours of stuff that they are combing through.
But it is our understanding that they did not. And their own PI is saying, well, they have it.
To try to find an answer.
It looks like Tish is local to the area. She said, I go to the grocery store or anywhere, and our eyes are peeled looking for him.
So let me see if there's any more here. Cameras. Let's listen to the other one. We've already heard that one. We've already heard that one. We've already heard that one. Already heard that one. Let's listen to this one. Let's see what this one has to say. I think this is just them talking, but not the
electronic devices.
Here it is.
There was only one phone that he had. It was extremely locked down. He had access to his phone, his text message, to only his contacts list, a camera, and a calculator, and that is it.
He's a pretty happy kid usually.
So they strip him down of anything, and then when he tells how little this child has, the mom pipes up and says he was a happy kid. Let's see if where's the other cameras. Let's see if we got any more. They talk about the sewer, the cameras in the sewer. Why we're wanting camera footage from. Let's hear this one.
That because of what can come of it.
They combed all of the electronics.
I can tell you this with no hesitation. Anything and everything we have given to the police and any other law enforcement to have them completely scan, validate everything, and they are currently. I mean, everything is empty. I mean, they were like, "You guys are pretty good at." I said, "Yes, sir. We don't believe in allowing the kids to communicate through."
I think he was describing how clean his internet history is, which is another concerning red flag that many people didn't pick up on at the beginning. And I'm just getting on this now. And I'm just, after all this time, this is the very first interview that they've provided. And he's expressing how his internet history is clean. The most clean that law enforcement has ever seen. That is strange. I think that's a key factor we missed. Was their internet wiped? Did they delete information from their internet? I mean, it sounds like what is being described here without describing the wiping, just how clean it is. Let's listen to that statement again.
Any other law enforcement to have them completely scan, validate everything.
Hey,
and
Steph,
they
see
are
you in the
currently.
chat. Well,
I mean, everything is
hi.
empty. I mean, they were like, "You guys are pretty good at." I said,
I
"Yes."
see it empty. What was that? Hold on a hit. What?
Validate everything, and they are currently. I mean, everything is empty. I mean, they were.
Everything is empty. Everything is empty. I can tell you, most older people aren't really associated with, the internet that much. People out in farmland are farming. They're not on social media. Very limited. I mean, Paul Murdaugh was obviously on social media, communicated with his friends, but they're not, they're not like us city folks or town folks, where we have internet and we're glued to our phones. But I guarantee that their internet service history is not clean. Like, how can somebody with internet, as much as they're on the internet, as we've witnessed ourselves with our own eyes,
How can that statement be possible? How can that statement be possible? What? I want to hear that one more time. Why isn't it there?
Completely scan, validate everything, and they are currently. I mean, everything is empty. I mean, they were like, "You
Everything is
guys are pretty good at." I said, "Yes,
everything is empty. All right, so let's get to the camera
sir.
aspect.
We don't believe in allowing the kids to communicate through social media or through any type of gaming."
Looks like Missing in USA says, why are they wanting camera footage from Sunday afternoon?
Well, the implication here is that they don't have it. They don't have the camera. So this is another statement that they've made. Let me put my face back up here. I find it seems to help with the not knocking my sound out when I'm moving from one to the other. So let's go up here to about 1830. It's about 20 seconds long. And let's hear this. Oh, shoot. I just stopped I accidentally hit the button twice. Let me put it back up here.
What is the reaction to the fact that somehow his image, he hasn't been captured on any video anywhere?
I know that it was very dark that night. I mean, it gets dark around here at night in general, but so far we haven't found him on any camera footage to prove where he's at.
Haven't found him on any camera footage to prove where he's at. So again, the cameras are the focus of this segment because we have been told for a solid year that there are no cameras inside or outside of Sebastian Rogers' home. That the only footage that there is are other people's footage in and around the community. And for the first time in over a year, their crackpot PI is telling the world that there's nothing to see because they have a camera that runs 24/7 on their garage. Now, if he's referring to the garage on Kellen and Stafford as being the recorded camera on the garage that runs 24/7, then it did pick up a vehicle that night. And it saw a vehicle stop in front of the camera, their 24-hour camera, for 3 to 5 minutes before backing out, not going up and turning around, backing out and going down and out the community. So what gives? Don't be surprised if CP comes out and says that they have cameras, but how they are part of the investigation and we're not allowed to talk about it, in my opinion. I don't know. Because even as early as the day he called, on February 26th, the day he called Nina, and she questioned him about the cameras, he didn't want to respond whether they had cameras. Law enforcement wouldn't have had any time to tell him not to talk about the cameras because at that time, they just had a missing boy. Those details wouldn't have been discussed by law enforcement because when it's a missing person, you're free to talk about whatever and however you want to because it's just a missing person. It is not an investigation. That's it. They're looking for a missing child. That's why when it's a missing person, information is so freely given. As soon as it moves from missing persons into a criminal or homicide investigation, the conversations, the communications, law enforcement's public relations stops at that point. The parents don't get really contacted. The public isn't really contacted. They're focused on the investigation. So at this stage, when he talked to Nina, there is no possibility of law enforcement saying, oh, well, we don't want you to let this out. We don't want you to let that out because they're very free with information when there's a missing person. They're very free when there's a missing person. The ISP that they subscribe to would have all their data and information. It surely would. And it's definitely discoverable. It's definitely discoverable. Geofencing plays a major role in this. And that's kind of what my understanding was about that complete meltdown of elevated truth when he just couldn't take it anymore. And he wants to ask questions like the jokes that Chris was telling him. There were only 2 vehicles in the area at the time, and those SOBs don't know that one of them was mine. Ha 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 ha. That came from one of their people, not our people, right? So why would somebody be getting off the rails like that? Because lack of trust. Because some people realize they're being played and want to sit on their platforms and say, I'm here for the victim. But let me let you keep playing me like a fiddle. Right? Lois says, I remember that Michelle Troconis case. It took LE a few years to gather and go through the footage of travel on the interstate of the truck involved. Interesting. Well, this day and age with AI and other resources, those things should be cut down quite a bit. And if law enforcement's not utilizing AI in their business, it would be a great resource to be adding. It's very inexpensive, and it's something that can save their police a lot of time. Now, it's still not going to cut down, actual human being viewing, but it can start targeting specific spots that they can view, and then they can move the viewpoints from there. They can sit and review it all and make sure that they didn't miss anything. But for this, I mean, why not? Why not see what AI can do? If AI can pinpoint them in the right spots of videos, why not utilize it? It takes a few minutes. You'll know whether you like the program or not. Did they wipe her GPS and car videos also? It's my understanding, no. I think that was another something that she probably didn't realize was taking place, because it's my understanding law enforcement does have her dash cam. And that's how they were able to determine, of course, this is just rumor. I've got no way to corroborate it, but that's the way that they were able to determine that he made it home, was they heard him as he exited the vehicle and went in the house, from my understanding. So, yeah, Sonia reminding us, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button this morning, y'all. The thumbs up button. And so for the new people just coming into the chat, you probably are coming in halfway through the presentation. So let me just give you guys a breakdown of the Reader's Digest version so you guys aren't lost. So I received an email because, I have a Reddit account. I do not like the Sebastian Rogers Reddit thread. I don't like it at all. I think the people running it are just a-holes, and they don't. It feels like another Facebook group ran by the same people. They only really want people that are in there bashing Seth and all this. It's just a cesspool of misinformation and disinformation. So I use Reddit a lot in a lot of the cases for information, but this particular Reddit thread is junk. If you go there, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's no different than the that Facebook group that is just turned into just a hate channel for Seth. A real victim, a father that's missing his son, really missing his son, and these people think it's a flipping game. And so I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to it because I don't like it, and I don't like the people running it, and I think they're trash. But I saw this where they said this unscrupulous UTI states that there was a 24-hour camera on the Proudfoot's garage. And I'm like, there's no way he said that, because for a full year, we've known that the parents have adamantly told us over and over and over again, they do not have cameras. Many of us question, how could they not have cameras when Katie works for Brinks? I don't know the answer to that. All I know is what they're saying. We heard rumors that one of the reasons why they executed the search warrant was because they believed the cameras were in the landfill. We don't know that either. That's just rumor. But there's been a lot of conversation about cameras and the lack thereof on this home. And then all of a sudden, over a year later, their crackpot instigator, private instigator, is saying that they have a 24-hour camera on their garage to prove nobody came and went, when they clearly were asked by Nancy Grace. And if you guys don't believe me, let's just go back to tab 1. Let me let it load up, which sucks because that means it's probably not going to allow me to play it correctly. Why isn't it loading? Stop it now. Had to stop sharing. Of course, love StreamYard. Love StreamYard. All right, let's go back. Let's listen to this. Let's listen. Let me put them up on screen.
Angle possible, every scenario, listen, I have a lot of camera footage. I know where all the cameras are. I know a lot of stuff that isn't public yet. I just don't see any way
for that to have happened,
that she can get him out of the house with her. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see how he can get out,
Yeah, the mom can't get out of the house, but he can see how the son did. What an idiot. I don't think he realized how stupid he sounds when he speaks.
front door. But
Tell him to lay down the booze.
it's a whole different thing. Like, you can't go running through the neighborhoods with somebody, kid draped over your shoulder. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? You would.
But it happens literally all the time. This is not our first parent and child case that we've covered. Okay, this is not the first one. But if somehow allegedly Sebastian can leave the house, but Katie can't. But that's not the point. Here's where it's coming, where he says something that is the first I've heard.
You have to use a vehicle, and listen, no vehicle left that night. There's a 24-hour camera that's right on their garage. So
right on their garage, a 24-hour camera right on their garage. Well, for the solid year, they've been telling everybody. And I'll do Smiley's World. If you guys sit for just a little bit, I'll do Smiley's World. Let's get this back where we need this to be. Let's add this. Hold on, I'm gonna have to go here and look up camera again. Red ring cameras. Okay, here it is. I think this is it. Okay, here it is. 9:33.
Another question. Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Hey,
yes, we
5D.
do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they
but not
on that
motion
night?
censored.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
There's two lights on the side of the house above the garage that are on at all times.
Oh, yeah, those are on.
Oh, there's a light above the garage that's on at all times?
There's two. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, so that garage that they have this alleged camera that runs 24 hours, they also have lights to pick up anything so it can see crystal clear. Interesting. I missed that because we didn't go back far enough.
Okay. So those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I heard you say earlier, Mr. Proudfoot, that your neighbors have been very, very forthcoming with their Ring camera info. And I was trying to determine if any lights were on, what, if anything, they may have caught. But I understand from your previous interviews that nothing of any evidentiary value was caught. And also, in another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the 2 flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now.
Okay, where is it? We just had it. Let me find it. No, I'm pretty sure that was it. Okay, here it is. Sorry, we were 5 minutes away, so let me get it to where we need to be.
Where Mr. Proudfoot said he was not a, quote, wanderer. He didn't wander around. He never left the home before on his own. Is that right?
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Well, then from where?
That's what we were hoping, that neighborhood Ring camera.
So there you have it. They've been saying for over a year that there is no cameras in and around their home. Yet now, a year later, we've got an unscrupulous PI saying that there was not only a camera, but their camera ran 24 hours. 24 hours. Oh, Fruit Basket, it's nice to see you, love. Why wasn't this readily available to the people talking about the surveillance? And we went back to the very first interview, and they're talking about everybody else's surveillance, providing the inference that they didn't have camera to provide law enforcement. They were asked numerous times, and they told the public, and I have to presume law enforcement as well, that there are no cameras at their home. And again, if this unscrupulous PI is in reference to the 24-hour camera over the garage or near the garage of the other house on Kellen and Stafford, they did pick up a vehicle coming and going. As a matter of fact, very suspiciously too. One that only went up and parked for 3 to 5 minutes on the side of the road where there was no home, and they were not visiting that house whatsoever. There were flashlights that went from the side because we couldn't see the back of the Proudfoot home from that angle, but it certainly came from their house, past their neighbor's house, and to that vehicle. Now, we don't know who it was. Could it have been somebody from across the street cutting through at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to that car? Yeah, but what doesn't really make sense to me is why would a car park all the way down the road from where they're picking up a subject? That doesn't make sense to me. Having a child missing and something large being carried out of the house in pitch black to a car with the lights turned off seems a little more probable for the situation than some neighbor cutting through the common area with flashlights and running back to the house with flashlights in the middle of the night when the car could have just simply came around and picked them up at their home. Just saying. Which one doesn't make sense more? Which one doesn't make sense more? So I'm going to try this. We're not doing it right now. We're here early. It's 10 o'clock. We have a 1:30, and I'm probably going to push that up to about 11:30 on the other show for the daily breaking news segment that we have on Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. I will have, as soon as that live is over, I'll have another live set up here on this channel for tonight. This is just going to be a strict call-in show. Do you guys have questions that you've had? Do you guys have theories that you've had, but you have not vocalized them, or you haven't gotten your question answered, or you don't know where to go to find answers to some of your questions? Maybe not just on this case, but another case. This is going to be your opportunity to communicate directly with me. Later this afternoon, I will probably do a live show tonight around 5:30. and it's going to be an hour to an hour and a half of just a call-in show. It's just for you guys and you guys alone, to call in, ask questions, advocate for Sebastian, talk about other cases. If there's another case, we're happy to bring it up. But this is going to be your hour, the audience hour to speak, to have your voice heard. So please be back here on this channel at 5:30. Again, I will have the card and the thumbnail and everything set up by the time we end the show on the other channel. And we'll probably have some videos between them. I'm not sure on what channel I'm going to put them on yet. And of course, we have our newest member to our I guess our run up. We have the mullet party. Now we have the whack-a-troll party.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here to set it right. Jump and duck, let's take a shot, turning trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick, whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like it. And Frank says, I have one question. I know we've answered this question a few times, but we'll go over it again. Question one is, why aren't they arrested? There are several reasons why they're not arrested yet, but most, it could be a combination of two things. They don't have the entire case built. That is one critical step to getting an arrest. The second part is because of the way they constructed this investigation and they handled this, it is now forcing them to take this. They can't make an arrest. Even though there's evidence of abuse, they're not going after low-hanging fruit. So they want to build the whole entire case and put a big ribbon on it like they did with the Summer Wells case. So you know how that turned out. And that's one of the reasons. But the other reason is now they have to go before a grand jury. They have to do a grand jury indictment, or they have to do a preliminary hearing for the indictment. Either way, they're very huge hurdles to get over. And it was the positioning of this case from the very beginning that brought us here. They don't, when people get arrested and it's like you see somebody there, you see them covered in blood, it's an easy arrest. You have probable cause right there. But the way they've established it, now they have to go before a grand jury and present their probable cause. They can't just say, okay, we got this, we're going to do this. They've got to have some type of procedure to do that. And I don't think they have it yet. I really don't. I don't think that they have the charges yet, but those will be forthcoming. They have elements. People don't realize we have statutes, right? Well, those statutes have cases that have been gone before other judges and have been ruled on. So that's called case and legal precedent, those rulings. So not only do you have the statutes, but you have the rulings that are precedent that kind of define those statutes for you. And you have a lot of other things. So there's things called elements. You have to have certain elements of the case or certain elements to the charge. You have to explain that in the charging documents, what elements you have, what is your case. And I think that really does have a lot to do with why they're not charged yet. This is a very complicated case. It's cut and dry to us because we're using common sense. Well, you can't take common sense to court, okay? You've got to take real evidence to court. And that we pray our jurors have common sense and can go through the evidence and understand that evidence. But you can't take common sense to court. You have to take evidence to court. And that's where they have to build the case. So maybe they are building the case. They probably have persons of interest already in their eye mark. But the issue is how much of the case When you're dealing with a circumstantial case such as this, we have no child. The child allegedly ran away. Nobody has seen or heard that. Yeah, we've had sightings. Those sightings have not panned out. Everybody that has been cited has been accounted for and is not Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Therefore, you can deduct that nobody has seen this child since February 25th when he was on the video at the Texas Roadhouse, with the exception of only his mother. So those are facts. But just because you see lights and stuff like that, they could be anyone. We use common sense. We know that this child has been sheltered. We know that the circle of people in and around this child is very small. But they still need to prove in a circumstantial case, they have to prove nobody else. They no longer have to prove that the mom and stepdad, whether it was through custody, interference, or whether it's something more nefarious, they still have to prove that nobody else was responsible, which is a bigger feat than proving somebody is responsible. Because in a circumstantial case, you've got to eliminate literally everybody else, which is one of the hardest things to do, is to eliminate anybody else. Oh, what do I got here? Oh, I gotta make a phone call. I don't know why they're not arrested yet. Everything's leaning toward the realization that they were responsible for Sebastian's disappearance. Now the next question is where is Sebastian? Is he in a group home somewhere, or is something worse? Did something worse happen? These are the real conversations and questions. So not only do they have to eliminate nobody could have possibly abducted him or took him outside of the family, they also have to try to determine whether he's still out there or not. Very complicated case. This is a very complicated case. I saw the major at the 1 year milestone vigil, and you could tell the man cares. And I think at the end of the day, you have to look at it, because if people care, they're going to fight, right? And while I'm not happy with what's going on with me in that community, at the end of the day, it's about making sure that Sebastian's face and name is heard above all else, that people around this country know that he is missing. And if anybody has information every single day, you would think that everybody in the world knows about this case by now, but it's not true. Every single day, a new person is learning that this child still hasn't been found. They may have heard of the story, they may have gotten on with their life and just thought he was found, and they're finding out that he's not found. Every single day, new people are learning that. And when new people are learning that, there may be somebody that may have seen something that was suspicious or just out of the ordinary, maybe not suspicious at all, just not something that they're normally used to seeing. People may start getting some recollections. Somebody may step up to the plate and say, I remember this on this day at this time. And that is, kind of what we're hoping for. We're here still trying to keep his name out there for very, very specific reasons, because he has not been found and we don't know where he's at. We want to make sure that the people that were in and around him at the time of his disappearance, their faces and everything are known to the public, because at the end of the day, we need to if anybody has seen them in a maybe not a suspicious way, but a way that may have just been odd, those people come forward. If they don't see these people's faces, it's not going to spark their recollection. And if they don't spark the recollection, then new information is not going to be coming forward. Obviously, if there's no arrest yet, it's one of two things. They've got the information, but they've got to build the case, or they're building the case but don't have all the information that they need
for the final, presentation. So those are the only things I can think of. Sebastian wore shoes in the swimming pool. He's not going to walk out of his house to leave without shoes on. That's the first I heard he swam his shoes, but that's good information. Where did you hear that? Because I haven't been around, and we know he's a good swimmer, but I never knew he swam with his shoes on. I feel Sebastian was a threat to Chris. Not sure why, but I said it. Gotcha. There was something going on. I think, it seems like, well, the classic narcissist, right? Whenever you're dealing with a narcissist, many of you guys may have experience with a narcissist, some of you guys may not. But one of the classic things is a narcissist is like he or she, whoever the narcissist is, wants to feel perfect, wants to feel like they are, the it, right? And so over time, that veil, that facade is chipped away because you're around them a lot of the time. And so I feel like there was this facade of Chris because and I think it comes to a petty issue. I think Lore Lodge hit the nail on the head when he started identifying that um, women with children get better housing in the military. And I truly believe it's just that petty for Chris, because the last two wives he had both had children. And as you know, those children, as we've learned, give you better housing when you're stationed on the military base. So I truly believe it's a petty issue, but over time, the facade of him being a good guy started diminishing and he needed somebody to blame. And I think once he's one of those people where once somebody treats you bad, like Sebastian, he probably had an outburst and probably said he didn't like him. And that forever changed his relationship just that quickly with a narcissist. And now the narcissist was tired of it and wanted this child that's screwing with his facade out of the house. All of a sudden, he doesn't do anything wrong. He does his schoolwork. He goes to school. He comes home. He goes to his room. The worst thing he does is have a messy room, but yet he's always grounded. He's always in trouble. He had his underwear taken from him and given to his father so he can sit around in diapers. They didn't only just abuse him, they humiliated him. This is psychological, mental, and physical abuse. And it kept going on, and we've heard the entire family and how they refer, how they think of Sebastian. Even the step grandparents with the whole squirrel comment. It was deplorable. It was sickening. This 15-year-old child disappeared, and they talk about him like he's trash. And then after a year of the world saying that's inappropriate to these people, finally, a year later, after the mom crawls out from under a rock, oh, we're so proud of him. We don't understand why everybody got the information about him wrong. Well, I know how we got it wrong. We were listening to them. It took his father coming out and convincing the world his son wasn't an infant. His son was well-rounded. His son knew how to cook. He was teaching his son how to cook. His son went to the firing range. His son went swimming and fishing and loved to go to parks and be outside and get fresh air. And then we hear when he goes home, not only is he treated like pure crap, but he doesn't even go outside. His mom doesn't even take him to the parks. His mom doesn't take him anywhere. And now all these damn photos are rolling out from their old house and their old life.
The only recent photo is the one of his 14th birthday. That's it. All those other films and everything, that's outside of Remington. That's not outside of Stafford. Why is it so difficult for these people that are around this child that we see clearly clicking and taking pictures while they're eating dinner and everything else? Why aren't we getting any recent photos or family photos of them anytime in the last 2 or 3 years? Where's them smiling together? Where's the stepfather, the mom, and the son? We see 1 or 2 things of the son with Chris and several of them with the mom, but never of them 3. Every Christmas, every holiday, every Halloween, every time Vince and his daughter and the grandkids were here, we always took family photos. We'd get all dressed in the same pajamas for Christmas, sit in front of the Christmas tree and take a family photo. I've got many, many, many photos of my marriage and my grandchildren and my stepdaughter. But we don't have those here. Where are those family photos? Those warm family photos. Recent. Since they've been at the house on Stafford. Because it seems like after 1 month after they moved into the house on Stafford, they were begging Seth to take Sebastian. So it is my belief that ever since they moved into Stafford, their relationship has been rocky. And I guarantee it's probably a financial rocky situation. That's the first and foremost. We talked, one of the first things that we talked about was this case when we started diving in to the mom and her husband, was looking at the records for their property purchase. And this tells you a lot. It tells you about their finances. It tells you about a number of things, right? And it's public record. Everybody has access to it. It's not a special or some type of thing that Bullhorn Betty did. It's for everyone, and everyone has their information out there in the public sphere. So it's not just special for them. It's not so special for me. It's not just special for you. Everybody's information is out there because it's public record. And so when I looked at it, the first thing I noticed was Katie was in the first position on all of their documents for the house. That was the first thing. That tells me one of 2 things. I used to work in real estate. I used to work for a mortgage company. I used to, I'm a very well-rounded individual. And I can tell you that the only time, because in general, the man's name is first, okay? Not that it's always, but in general, it's the man's name first. Now, there have been a few situations where I have personally dealt with that the wife went above the husband. Me personally, my name was in first position on this house because I purchased this house, not my husband. It was purchased with my money alone, money that I had outside of our marriage before we got married. I purchased this home. He had no financial stake in this home, but when I purchased this home, we were married. And so they required him, and if this was going to be our primary residence, that he is on the title. No problem. Put him on the title, but he's going in the second position. So there's that. Now, the other flip side to that is financial. When you're getting loans, it usually is the first person in the position on the title is the person that is the primary responsibility of the mortgage. That means typically that she would most likely be the breadwinner or have the better credit report. Those are typical reasons. Now, are there other reasons? Yes, there are many reasons that those names would be where her name is in the first position and his name is in the second position. There are many reasons, right? You can make that determination at closing if you so choose. but those are usually the primary reasons for a woman being in that first position. So I had explained all that when we learned that. So when we started like kind of breaking this case over and figuring out, how, because they have a posh lifestyle. They're living in almost a $700,000 home. I can't figure out how a Brinks electrician and a tower crane operator can live the lifestyle that they're living. I can't figure it out. Um, so I started looking into it and looking at their total income, and it looks like totally they make under 100,000 a year in total income. Chris is making about $30 an hour. I don't know what Katie's making, maybe $25 an hour, something like that. So just to kind of break it down for you, let me just do this. And I don't even know if she's making $20 an hour. And then you got the comment from Mr. Proudfoot that she's going to have to, figure out how to make the house payment. So it almost implies he's that breadwinner. But you have to remember, he didn't start he didn't get licensed until 2019. He's a fairly green um, uh, a tower crane operator. Some of the people that he works next to have been doing tower cranes for 15, 20 years. He just graduated 2019. They purchased their house at 2021. So he had to start at the very low bottom of the scale, which is about 30 something $1,000 a year. So, or a little under 40, maybe 40,000 is like the lowest that people start out. So he was just starting a new job. That might have been the reason why they were put her in the first position too, because it comes down to the credit. He was just starting a new job. This was a new career. This wasn't jumping from his old career into something better. This was going from a different job altogether into tower crane operating. So that does affect, your ability to borrow money as the job change. It could affect it. So let's just do like 21 times 40 equals. So we got $840 a week. Let's do about $32 for Chris. $1,280. So they're making a gross, and I'm being very conservative. So I probably anticipate them making maybe a couple $100 more than this number weekly. So we have $2,120. So we times that by 4.3. And that is, they're making about $9,116 per quarter. And again, this is very conservative. There may be some adjustments. She might be making $22 an hour. He might be making $35 an hour, but this kind of gives you tower crane operators make more. I'd say about 60 seasoned tower crane operators can make up to $80,000. But when you're first starting out in this very dangerous field, you're getting paid for your training. So they lowball you, just like any profession that you get into. When it's your first year in it, they lowball you and you get shit pay. It might be more pay than you were making at your prior job, but I think they make more than no. No. Let's just go. I'll go over here. Tower crane operator, because I did this once before and I know that's not right. And Chris has stated that he makes over $30 an hour. Tower crane first year salary. Yeah, no, it's not. So they're saying a median salary. Median, that means professional median. Is anywhere from 68,000 per year to the range is from 41,000 to 92,000. And I can tell you that if you look at paralegals, let me just put Tennessee here because it might change things. Yeah, no, they don't make that much. So it says right here in Tennessee, as of March 2025, the average hourly pay for a tower crane operator is around $31.77 on average. The salary ranges from $27.26 to $35.58. So, and they say top earners could earn as much as $42.67 on average. So, just for you guys, because I remember going through this, and I know people thought that they made a lot more money than they did, but they don't. Let's see if I can zoom in here just a little bit so you guys can read that yourself. Sorry. There it is. Can you guys see that? Right there. In Tennessee, and this is in March 2025. So, no, not making that much. And so, let's get back to the calculations of this. So, the calculations are about conservatively about $9,116. Oh, I'm not on the screen. Sorry. $16 per quarter. Okay, per quarter, and you're going to times that. Oh, excuse me. No, that's we did 40 hours. That's weekly. 4.3 is monthly, and then you times that by 12 equals. So they're making right about $109,000, $109,392 gross a year, a conservative number. So $109,000. Now you have to take with the mortgage, the difference in the whole mortgage situation is when you look into their loan documents, you find very quickly that they have a VA loan. And if you look at the terms of the VA loan is 100% financing. That means if you serve in our military, you have the ability to have the American dream. You have the ability, the VA actually has its own financing for people of the military that want to purchase a home, and it's known as VA housing or VA mortgage. And a VA mortgage covers 100% of the loan. So you still have to meet the mortgage guidelines, and usually that means that your debt to income ratio has to be 3% or below, and you have to have good credit, and you have to be able to come up with the closing costs. The closing costs are not covered, but you don't have a down payment. What's the difference? Thousands and thousands of dollars. Because in a conventional mortgage right now, many people are required to have a down payment of 20%. What does that mean? That means on an average, their house when they purchased it was about $600,000. So let me put $600,000 in here and multiply it by 0.20. And that gives you $120,000. So without the VA loan, they would have had to pony up $120,000 plus their closing costs. So in order for them to get into that home with a conventional loan, you're probably looking about anywhere between $130,000 to $145,000 that they would have needed if they got a conventional loan to move into that house. So when they had the VA loan, they didn't have to pay that $120,000 down payment or that 20%. They had that all covered in their loan, and all they had to pay was the closing cost. And the closing cost includes doc stamps, transfer of title, all these different closing fees, paying the attorney or the closing company XYZ dollars to close your loan. You've got other fees that are associated with that: survey, a home appraisal, your 4-point inspection. If you want your home inspection, those are all things that you could do. Plus, if she retired from the Navy, then you have to include that pay. Then if she's 100% disabled, you have to include 100%. Yeah, but we've heard that they get no assistance from the government. As for Sebastian, we were told that they made too much money for that as well. We can't include things we don't know. Hypotheticals don't help. So at the end of the day, right now we're looking at $9,116 with their house mortgage. Now, I don't know what a $600,000 mortgage payment looks like, but I can tell you for my $100,000 home that I had with a decent interest rate, which was, I think, 6% interest. Hush, Delilah. Shush, shush, shush. 100%, 6%. And for a $92,000 home, it cost me $968. So you take $968, 968 times it by 6. Their house payment was probably anywhere between $4,500 a month to $6,000 a month. Okay? They're making $9,016. They have car insurance, home insurance, motorcycle payments. They have a camper, disabled, married with a child. Married with a child is $4,000. But we don't even know if we're hearing that she was disabled. We need more information about that because that's not a blanket for everyone. I know that's based on years of service and how much was put in, but I don't know that information. I can't include hypotheticals. But even if, I mean, because this is only showing, so even if we add 4,500, which I don't believe anything would ever be that high for that lady. Because if that was the case, if she was making, let's look at this. If she was making $2,120 a month from her work, and then 44, almost 4,500, that would be almost 8,000. Why would he worry about if she had enough money to pay the mortgage? Plus, she's got her Infinity. He's got his truck payment. They've got a motorcycle. They've got a camper. They eat out just about every single meal. I'm telling you, we can fluff this as much as we want, but at the end of the taxes, but at the end of the day, they're not as good off as people think they are. And I tried to explain that over a year ago when I started, doing my background information, my fact finding into all the people that were in and around this child and trying to break it down. Because everybody was saying that they have these big pockets and stuff like that. And the only big pockets I could see in their entire family was his uncle and Kathy's brother. And he owns second generation construction with his son. And those are the only big pockets I can find because it doesn't look like the mom, his mom, and his stepfather. They have that house, but they paid less for that house in that community than Chris and Katie did. And I also heard that they have other properties in and around this country, but again, it's only rumors. I have not seen. When we pulled background checks on all of them at the very beginning of this case back in March or April, I didn't see multiple properties on the Bowersox paperwork. So if they do have family properties, it's most likely owned by other family members, not them. But I don't see where these people have these huge, wildly deep pockets. I just don't see it. Yeah, they make a lot of money, and then that looks good from the rest of us. Oh, they got all this money coming in. But you guys aren't. There's two parts to that. There's the income, and then there's the expense. And so they're living high on the hog. That's costing them a lot of money each month. They're basically working to pay for their lifestyle. In my opinion, they probably don't even have enough for like a real nest egg outside of what they're putting aside for in their, pensions from work. I don't see where there's a whole lot of room to save a whole lot of money from a monthly standpoint. Why was he only temp? I don't think he was temp. My understanding, based upon the Smiley's World interview, and that was back in March, that was actually over a year ago. And he was on Smiley's World interview, And he's basically explained that he gets these contracts from his company. And when he accepts the contract, he basically takes his camper to the place because they're usually far away from home. I'm sure that's intentional. There's a lot of people that want to work near home. It seems like Chris likes to be near home, but far enough away that he doesn't have to come home. I wonder why. So it sounds like he took this job, was contracted, and when he was contracted for the job and he started getting ready to prepare for the job, he went down and got himself and paid the large sum up front to have, probably for discount purposes as well, that he was going to rent this spot until his contract was over, and probably paid, 1 or 2 months up front for the camp lot that he was on, because we know that he paid he didn't pay weekly, he paid a month or two in advance according to his statement. Now I have no way to disprove it or prove whether he pays monthly or how long he paid for this thing or anything like that. I'm sure that law enforcement, it's discoverable, they can subpoena the records from the campground, and I know that there's some cameras in and around there, and there's no way to really go from Memphis to Hendersonville without getting on an interstate. And I'm pretty confident that there are some cameras on the interstate for traffic purposes that could have identified what cars are, in transit toward the way to Hendersonville, if there is any evidence of Mr. Proudfoot leaving his camper that night. But I do believe that he paid for that well in advance. And I think that's why he was kind of stuck there. Betty, then he is getting a 1099 at the end of the year, so he's having to pay a lot of taxes. That's possible. He could be a 1099 employee contracted. That makes sense. That makes sense, Lori. And nobody likes 1099s unless you like legitimately have a business. But he basically would be his business if that was the case. So he may have it negotiated. I know as a 1099 employee for insurance companies, I had an option to take and split my taxes out of each payment and set it aside so you have money at the end of the year. I'm not too worried about it now because just about every penny I make, at least for the last 3 years, has been spent on either the cases or, legal expenses. So my taxes have been fairly low, but his would be pretty extensive with all the stuff that they have. But that's kind of what we have on this front. I still don't know whether or not we've got a poll going. Let me get over here to the poll. And the poll is asking, is the UTI causing confusion again? And this is out of 404 votes. And 79% of our audience believes that he is at it again just to create chaos in the case. And that's just truly sad if that's what's going on. But we know for a fact that the mom and stepfather have adamantly told the entire public they did not have cameras. They did not have a security system, even though we know for a fact they purchased that. I know at 100%. 100% they purchased that home with an ADT system. So them saying they don't have anything monitoring their doors or their locks, that is untrue. Now, whether they had the service hooked up or not, that's a different respect. But just because you don't have service, that's monitoring service. So if somebody breaks in your house, they alert law enforcement to come to your house. But you can set your security system whether or not you have the actual service. Your security system, just because you don't have service, doesn't stop working. You can secure your home, and when the door opens, it sets off the house alarms, even though it's not notifying anybody to call law enforcement. So this idea that they didn't have a security system, that is a lie. We know that for a fact. But we were unsure about the cameras, and the only people we had telling us that there were no cameras at their home was the mom and the stepfather. Even Nina said, "What, you don't have cameras? I thought you have cameras, Christopher." We clipped that. I wonder if I got that. Let me, before I close out with you guys. before I close out with you guys, I think I clipped that statement. Let me go to my channel real quick. I know it was in a video I made. And it would have been a video on this channel, not the other one, because it's related to Sebastian. And it wouldn't be a video. I think it's this one. I think it's my 13-minute one. Let's look. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Let's listen to this.
Tell you what they've been doing.
He calls me that Wednesday, and he's like, and I was like, oh great, he's calling. So I went straight to voicemail, and then he had said 911, call me. So then I was like, well, it must be emergency, so let me call him. I called him and I said, what's up, Chris? And he was like, he's like, Nina, I gotta tell you something. And I was like, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna tell me that the trial, we're not gonna go to trial, that everything is gonna be done with, and we don't need to worry, and we can, we don't need to do all this stuff. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And then he tells me, I got to be open and honest with you. And then he pauses like for 6 or 7 seconds. And I'm like, well, I was like, what? What do you have to tell me? So then at that point in time, he tells me that Sebastian went missing. And I was speechless. I have to say I was speechless. And then I went into saying, well, what happened? Like, how did he go missing? Like, what happened? And he said, well, he went missing between 12:30 and 6 a.m. And I'm like, it's thinking to myself, and then, like, that's crazy. And I said, don't you have security cameras, Christopher? I said, you mean you have security cameras in your house? I mean, don't you? And he paused. He didn't say anything.
See? So the camera conversation still continues to this day. Did they have cameras? Did they not have cameras? They're saying they've never had cameras at the house, but now just recently, their PI has said not only is there a camera, there's a camera at the top of their garage, and that garage camera was recording 24/7. That means it was continuous on a continuous reel, recording 24/7. That's what he stated. And who do we believe? Do we believe the year from the liars or the most recent from a new liar? You're right? The unscrupulous PI completely, utterly contradicting his clients yet again. In the same mouth that he says he's looking at them as well. So he publicly stated that he's looking at his own clients as being potential suspects in the disappearance of this child behind me, all the while turning the other cheek to real legitimate evidence. And if he's got those cameras from the 26th, I guarantee that man has seen something and turned his head. I guarantee it. If he has all those cameras that he says he has, I guarantee that man is lying through his teeth. He has seen something and he is protecting them, not looking at them, protecting them. I truly, truly believe it, because the information we've got that we were not supposed to have is very, very telling, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with the Bullhorn Betty channel. And as we continue this conversation into the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, all of the twists and turns, all of the chaos, and more importantly, all of the lies and inconsistencies in this statement. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, folks, please be safe. But more important, say it with me, kind to one another. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you soon. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.